Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend. Today, there's a couple of things that I would like to accomplish. Number one, I would like to keep pushing our faction quest forward. We have here this step. Basically, I want to see what the rest of our faction quest looks like, because it's important to know whether it's worth pursuing your faction quest in more difficult games. For some factions, it's a really good idea to push your faction quest all the way to the end, even if it turns out that some of the steps are difficult for you to accomplish. For other factions, it's not such a big deal, and you can kind of just like let it fall by the wayside when it becomes inconvenient. And I want to have a sense of which one of those two things our faction quest is, so that next game, when we have the community patch installed and we're playing at a much higher difficulty, I can know whether I want to like really put effort into this. The other thing I would really like to do is interact with the Urkan system a little bit, because it's been basically just something that's happening sort of outside of our game so far, which means we need to get some luxury resources. We will get on that. We will do that thing. For now, let's finish killing these Broken Lords, right? Now, it is worth noting, like I said last time, we're going to teleport our hero over to the ruin and push our faction quest forward. It is worth noting that when we do that, we're expecting an Ardent Mage army to be spawned. Hopefully they won't be super tough. I really do not want to have to fight a force that we can't handle with 2 Epitanes and a hero. Let's just get you over there. The Dust Eclipse has come to an end. We are 1 to 15 turns away from winter. My suspicion here is that they are going to retreat. Yep. Pretty obvious play on their part, I think. Definitely the wrong move if they're not going to actually make a real run for it, though. Okay. They have 7 movement. They think they can get home. That's reasonable. It's not right, but it's a reasonable, reason to try to run away. If you think your army's not going to be able to get away, if you think there's no chance at all, you may as well just stand and fight, right? Do what damage you can to those who would slay you. We can get you all the way over into reinforcement range for this battle. That's probably a good idea. Alright, let's see what happens. Turns out to be 2 Telsum Warlocks and a hero. The Telsum Warlocks have reasonable stats. Hero is at 74 attack and 63 damage, but very low defense and very low health. Yeah, we should be able to do this. And also, sadly, our man is not in reinforcement range. I bet he's 1 tile outside of it. Ah well. Like I said, I think we can do this. Shouldn't be a problem. Our hero is a terrifying combat monster at this point. And where do we want to have our ranged? I kind of want to have the ranged up close. Obviously, I don't want to get meleeed by the Telsum Warlocks, but how much movement do they have? 3? So if we aren't standing close enough for them to attack us, we also aren't standing close enough for us to attack them. I guess what we could do, since we're so fast, is set up over here and attack them from the other side of the water. Yeah, that's the play. So you can attack here. You can run to here and attack that guy. And then you can run to here, and we're not going to specify it. From this space we can hit all of the enemy units. There's a non-zero chance that this dude's dead. I guess, yeah, I'll specify that attack, because he'll just pick a different target if he moves to this location and his original target's dead. I think there's a significant chance this guy will be dead before that 3rd attack. Okay, he's going to be dead before the 2nd attack. Interesting. That guy will hurl himself upon our free counter, and that's the end of that battle. This hero is awesome. What a good fighter. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be given such a powerful sword. So we have gained the Testament to the Urkans, a cryptic tome offering half-truths and speculations on the great Urkan beasts. Costly investigations will need to be performed before this becomes useful knowledge. So it is a purely negative... It's a purely negative accessory, which means that in the next step of the quest, they're going to ask us to keep it on our city governor for a while, I think. The Vaulter Fallen have been avenged. In part. Faresh Zima, a woman from the lineage of the Butcher, is dead. I can feel the collective's condemnation, but the Mykara don't understand this is justice. An unexpected boon. Zima carried out an ancient tome on the Urkans. Wouldn't it be even sweeter to complete our vengeance with their instrument of slaughter? Their instrument of our slaughter, even. It's probably an instrument of generalized slaughter. They probably used it against other people. I still feel the Mykara's disapproval, but I also feel their acceptance. Every day our union grows stronger. My thoughts entangle with the collectives, such that I'm sometimes unsure where my mind ends and the Mykara's begins. Calmed, I follow threads of meditation deeper and deeper into the distant past. I witness that the Mykara and the Urkans have clashed many times over the ages. The cycle is always the same. The Urkans emerge from the heart of Auriga and wander the land, wreaking havoc on the fledgling cultures they encounter. Before they can strike a terminal blow, though, the Mykara rise up from the depths and pacify the beasts. For time immemorial, the Mykara have been the Urkans' keepers, and now the Urkans rise again, the Mykara rise likewise. I wonder how many souls like myself have been merged into the collective over the millennia. Within the collective's memories, I find no impression of such spirits. Either I haven't reached deep enough into the Mykara's recollections, or the psyches of these individuals have blended so intimately that they've become untraceable. Will this be my fate too? Honestly, that is terrifying. From that well, another thought springs. Observing from a vantage point that spans the ages, my own vendetta against the mages feels petty, inconsequential. With the Urkans breaking the crust and roaming the lands once again, I must focus my will on a greater matter than revenge. I will prepare a Mykara hero. With the Urkans returned, it is time to work in harmony with the Mykara. Even if it weakens us, we must study the ancient tome and gain dominance over the great beasts. So yeah, hero in the city holding the horrible book for 8 turns. Well, we can certainly do that. Here, have this horrible book. Minus 30% food and science, huh? Well, what are you gonna do? The answer is not equip it, but I think we probably ought to, right? So let's just keep building stuff. I guess we should probably do that in that order. What do we want people on right now? We're still generating a ton of dust, and to be honest with you, I don't remember why. Also, apparently we had never searched this ruin normally. Yeah, why was I making so much dust? There was definitely a period there where we were broke. We're well past that. Was I thinking about buying... I was thinking about buying luxuries. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's what it was. Okay, so, by the way, people in the comments have been very helpful. Apparently, we've experienced a couple of bugs already. This thing where the Mykara overgrown cities are affecting your Empire approval is a bug. They're not supposed to be, but that is in fact what's happening. And also, apparently, the approval of the overgrown cities cannot be affected by luxury resources. So basically, we're never going to get our approval up. Like I said last time, usually Amplitude is pretty quick with the first bug fix patch after release. So I imagine this will be solved shortly. The other bug we ran into was, remember when that Vaulter army was just kind of standing there not doing anything? That is a weird bug that sometimes happen with the AI attacking overgrown cities. Like their AI just breaks and they forget how to do stuff. You could think of it as a manifestation of the horror that they must experience upon seeing their once proud city overgrown with fungus. But hopefully that will also be fixed pretty soon. So, if we have a bunch of money and we're thinking about buying a bunch of luxury resources, this is perhaps a good time for us to fiddle with the Urkans a little bit, right? So Chaka here is in fine health, looking powerful. Let's see if we can't maybe have some words with Chaka. You're Chaka, right? Yes. Okay, so Chaka would love some wine. Wine would be good. So I don't, like, if we give them stuff, is that how we get control of them? We've seen other players controlling them militarily. That's a thing we could do. We're gonna buy a bunch of wine, and we're gonna figure this out. The wine won't actually do anything for us. Hold on, what's the cost of a luxury deposit, or a luxury booster on our Empire right now? 37. Okay, just something else to be thinking about while we're looking over these. Like, I kind of really want to be running Dust Orchid. It's awkward to run it while we have the book up, but the fact that there's 52 of it on the market means that some player is mining it and selling it. Sometimes certain resources do not spawn in the world, if you are playing on the default game size of 6 players and using a 6-player world generation, I believe there are 2 luxuries that don't spawn in the world each game or something like that. But you'll still see them on the marketplace because people will get them as quest rewards, and then because they can't use them, they'll sell them to the market. But those will always be in multiples of 5, I believe. The fact that we see 52 here means that somebody's actually making this stuff. So we can afford to buy ourselves into it and then get a boost off of it, and then, you know, just buy more later. Unfortunately, it is a little on the expensive side. I guess they're all pretty expensive. The wine's not so bad. Let's go ahead and buy as much of this as we can. We'll have to, over a couple of turns, put together enough Dust Orchid to run the booster, but it'll pay for itself. Yeah, I guess that's what we're devoting dust to for now. So next turn we'll grab another 10. And the turn after that, the remaining 7, I suppose. Alright, so over here we want to make sure that we are registering this attack immediately upon the beginning of the turn. And then we continue to progress against green. So if you are playing the game on a high difficulty level, it is always going to be the case that the AI has better production than you do. As is the case in most 4X games, when you get above about the middle of the difficulty list, they start compensating the AI with free resources and stuff. Okay, one. That locked in. They start compensating the AI with free resources and stuff, and that means that you are going to see things like the AI having 6 units in every garrison, and then also multiple armies just out in the world, walking around. Alright, so we're not going to be able to attack these guys with hero backup. But the point I was headed toward there was that it is just going to... It's going to be the case that you're always fighting uphill in terms of numbers, so it's really important that you always win battles overwhelmingly. You have to lose way less than the opponent loses in order to remain reasonably strong. So you can see their Dust Bishops are at full health here. They used the Dust healing ability on them. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Alright, you guys know what to do. Let's form the Morale Ball. Give everybody lots and lots of adjacencies. You are going to run over and mess up one of these dudes. And then we are just going to have the Epitanes crush... Honestly, the Centaurs just aren't even really that impressive. Let the Epitanes focus on the Dust Bishops. It is a shame that they are mostly faster than we are. Okay, I think them going after our ranged is actually pretty ideal for us. It's unusual, but our Gorgon is relatively soft, so very easy to kill, and our ranged can actually handle themselves in a fight against the Centaurs. Alright, if we back up, we can kill this guy before he gets a turn, and then all the Epitanes can try to kill this other guy. I think we're going to lose the Gorgon here to this Dust Bishop attack. But he can take one of them down with him, at least. Yeah, these Centaurs are not well outfitted. Alright, well, that went down exactly as I expected it to. It looks like we're probably not going to get this guy this turn. But obviously, his chances for survival are pretty poor at this point. We are going through Gorgons very quickly. Oh yeah, another thing we were saving dust for was retrofitting. That's right. Movement trinkets. I remember. I remember eventually. We need 7 more before we can pop that. That's a pretty powerful booster. I guess you can just join up with this army. You are now the other unit here. And you no longer have anything fun to search over here since the eclipse ended, so I guess just head down in the general direction of the conflict. Here in Warden, we don't have anything useful to build aside from military units, so let's build some military units. It turns out we could probably use a couple of more Gorgons up at the front. We should also probably pin this, just so that I can keep track of how many turns we have to wait until we can take the book off. Oh, sure, I'll do some research. That sounds okay. I don't think we need I don't think we need any help with our diplomatic interactions. I suppose more science might be a good idea. Obviously, the Advanced Alchemy Lab is pretty good for us, given how many districts we have in our city. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way to head here. There's also something to be said for the plow factory, but we currently have no Palladians, so we can't even build one of these. This is a pretty powerful building. It's alright, we'll get some Palladian. So now that we have the ability to build these extractors, we should probably start doing that. Yeah, we can afford this food hit. Do we see any other sources of this stuff around? Okay, we have that one up already because the AI had that before we took the city from them. Let's also grab this. And then maybe we should leave it there for now. Yeah, because we're producing we're spending an awful lot of food, right? I don't know what these guys are up to, but we should probably attack them. I should probably not let them get up to it. And we are really blooming fast. We have fungal blooms completing all over the place. So our temple teleporter is finished. We can now jump over to that continent. Unfortunately, we only have one ruin on this continent that functions as an entry point. This dude's just going to run away, right? But we have now made it awkward for him to do whatever it is that he was heading out here to do. We might be able to put this Gorgon in a place to intercept him next turn. I think the one Gorgon should be able to take him, right? And with these guys, we can make a move on Kentimus. Just gather everybody up here. Okay, can we get the other Gorgon anywhere near joining up with this guy? Pretty close. Alright, I'm very confident that two of our Gorgons working together can take that dude out, even if he does full heal. And then, we're going to finish buying our Dust Orchid booster. And then, I swear, we're gonna play nice with the Urkans. Apparently we're just a tiny bit short. We can fix that. I do not think we are going to need all of these emeralds. Alright, so plus 20% to all of our non-influence resources is pretty powerful. Speaking of influence, I do not have a plan as far as the Empire plan goes, but we're just gonna wing it on that. I'm certainly not pulling any people off of anything to work on influence. A little bit of an awkward time for winter to arise as we're approaching this city. Okay, these guys are headed to the east for some reason. Well, I mean, just head over here and see if you can catch them. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want them doing it. Okay, they've sent a single unit out to engage in battle with us. I'm not 100% clear on the value of this move. This is a unit from Kentimus's garrison, right? It had 7 units in it last turn. Why not pop all of the units in the garrison out? I mean, we'll fight him. Bizarre choice. Even if he has everything coming in through the reinforcement positions, we have more reinforcement position, or we have more guys than he does, and we start with more guys on the field. Like this is going to work out terribly for him, pretty much no matter how this happens. I just want to be over here so I can attack people coming in as reinforcements. Turns out it won't be necessary. Hey Gorgon, don't hurt yourself. I think we can probably just tell this Gorgon to back off. Well, okay. That was weird and suicidal. I gotta say, it does feel like the AI is behaving strangely, even for the base game AI. which always made some weird decisions. Alright, so we're going to select 1, 2, 3, 4 units here. Sorry, we're going to not take the level 4 guy. And merge them into this army. No, am I not? Why is that not working? Oh, because I have no points of movement left is why it's not working. Those units can't move into that space. Duh. Okay, so the AI did overwhelm our prayers. We're at -1 food on terrain with food. That affects us a little bit more than it affects some of the other players, since food is so important to us, but we shall persevere. Somehow we will get on with things. Alright, let's buy a bunch of wine and then get these Urkans extremely drunk. It's weird that that's even an option, especially with this thing being as large as it is. Sorry, show me Chaka. Okay. So requires Chaka. Requires me to own Chaka. Is that how it is? Like, do I have to claim it via military before I can feed it stuff? Alright, so if that's the case, then we have to wait for one of them to come nearby for us to be able to play with them. But we now have the resources. We're ready to do that. Okay. So here, at the beginning of the turn, we want to go ahead and go ahead and merge these armies up. Actually, is that my first concern? Maybe my first concern is trying to catch this guy. Well, it looks like I can't reach him anyway. Never mind. Okay, there we go. Get everybody in the hero army. They can be nice and powerful. Get our siege on. And City of Alundran has been captured by Green because it had no units in its garrison. Something tells me we'll be able to solve this problem. Yeah, I think we can probably get this back. Alright, so he'll retreat now, but he will not be able to retreat safely again next turn. And I'm wondering if we maybe just want to attack here? 195 extra hit points on all of the units is a lot to get through. Maybe we do want to do a little bit of siege. Yeah, this is just them attacking that city. So, if you want to hold a large number of overgrown cities, you really do want to get some stuff into their garrisons. You can see we have garrison slots available. We do not get any free militia, so we actually have to devote troops to all this stuff. Let's just keep pumping units out. We have, like, literally nothing else to build right now. So how many turns until we have this thing? 1 turn. In 1 turn, we will get even more health regen and even more dust. Oh, and since at this point it seems like we're pretty much done with dust, even though we're taking a penalty to food right now, and as such, these guys will be a little bit less effective than normal, I think with our base value per citizen on food being 12, we still go for it. It's still a lot of food. Alright, let's see if we can't finish this guy off here real quick. So one of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to use his action points to heal, and then we're going to attack him, and he's going to be able to unable to run away, and we're going to kill him 2v1. Or he's not going to do that, and then he still has to fight us because he has so little health that if he tries to retreat now, he'll die. Also, we really don't need to manual this. Okay. And Urkan has been tamed by somebody. It's really not our problem. Unfortunately, this cost our action points, so we won't be able to take the city back this turn. Yeah, and their plan here is to run around me, take advantage of the fact that they have more units than I have, and just basically be an annoyance rather than properly fighting us. That's fine. That doesn't hurt us very much. Looks like we can grab this army. Yeah, we can grab this army with all of our reinforcements and none of their reinforcements except the ones in the city. Let's have ourselves a big fight. So the fact that the city reinforcements are able to participate in this battle, despite the fact that we're sieging, I think is because it's the sieging army that initiated the battle. But we should still be able to win this very easily, despite being outnumbered, because their units are not good. They have not been dutifully upgrading their units with new strategic gear and stuff. They're about to pay the price for that. So, if we put the Gorgon in a place where he can disable the Dust Bishop, they really don't have anything else going for them. This is just going to really, really suck for them. I guess they do have... The thing they have going for them is superior numbers, and the fact that these stalwarts really do have a lot of health. So, that's cool, I guess, for them. We can prevent the stalwart from moving if we... You know, I don't actually have a lot of control over how the part of this battle is going to go, because the fact that they are before us in the initiative order means they're going to get to select who gets actions and who doesn't. I'm hoping that we can kill this guy before his action. We're targeting the centaur who is lowest on initiative order. These two, we can't stop from attacking this turn, but if we're lucky, we might be able to do it to this guy. You just prevent that Dust Bishop from doing the thing he wants to be doing. Okay. And if their Dust Bishop dies here as well, then yeah, that is basically all of their offensive capability. These stalwarts are tough, and we do want to limit the amount we get hit by them, but they really will have to, like, gang up on us for a long time to bring any of our units down. We have some more centaurs coming in. These militia are a little bit better statted. You can see their 113 attack means that they will actually get to do real damage to us occasionally. A big part of the problem that these guys up here are having is that their attack values are so low that they can't hit us for anything. They're constantly rolling in the half damage or no damage part of the table. So yeah, you guys should probably focus up. Like, let's get rid of the centaurs in my backfield so that I can reclaim some control of my initiative. You just keep attacking soldiers. Okay. Yeah, see, as long as they have higher initiative units able to mess with us, it's going to not really pose a big danger to us, but it's going to screw with our targeting, right? We won't be able to reliably say, I know this guy will be able to attack who he wants to attack, and so I can, like, designate exactly enough attackers to kill this enemy, and then exactly enough to kill that enemy. And anytime you have uncertain results of your orders, bad things can happen, right? You really want good control of the battlefield, and a lot of that is about managing initiative. And the rest of it is about making sure that your units you do not have units attacking enemies in such a way that it's ambiguous how many of them it will take to get the kill. Because, like, if we had everybody target this guy, he would die for sure. But he'd probably die on, like, the second attack, and then the rest of the units after that second attacker will pick targets on their own, and they'll just do all kinds of weird stuff. So a big part of mastering the AI, mastering the battle system in Endless Legend is making sure that you are actually in control as much as possible. We shouldn't have our hero attack a unit that's this low on health, because that guy is definitely dead when he gets attacked. But we want the hero to deal a ton of damage to somebody who's still at full. But yeah, I mean, you can see here the massive, massive benefit that you get from proper strategic resource and retrofitting. With their units being as they are, we could actually probably defeat excuse me, we could probably defeat a force that outnumbers us by significantly more than this without taking significant losses. Here, I think it's pretty unlikely that anybody will actually die here. Our hero might fall, but remember, he'll last stand. And actually, he's probably not even going to die. I'm going to have the Gorgon back off. There's no reason for the Gorgon to engage in this. The Epitanes can finish it off. We do not need to let this guy actually have an attack. Okay, they put themselves in a position of significant danger. by exposing a non-fortified army to us without giving it any way to really fight back. We're headed toward Rallying Call. We're going to go ahead and get it, even though it's not useful right now, because we don't have enough bodies around to take advantage of the extra reinforcement positions. Alright, so we'll take Kentimus on our next turn when we have an action point, and then... It doesn't cost an action point to attack an empty city, but you can't do it if you don't have an action point. So yeah, we'll take Kentimus, then we'll run over and deal with the Vanaran situation. Alandarin will fall back to these guys. Okay. Symbiosis Metropolis. Is that the correct version of that verb? I guess, symbiosis. So did we actually get that effect? Or did we lose the city before? Is there a list of all of our symbiosis effects? Yep, it looks like we do have it. +1 dust on terrain with dust. And actually, that's particularly interesting because we don't have a Broken Lord city at all anymore. Vanaran was the only one we had. So once you get the symbiosis effect, it seems like it might be permanent even if you lose all the cities of that faction, which is powerful. Alright, so let's attack right here. Actually, those guys could step in to defend, but I'm not worried about it. I think if they want to do that, that'll work out just fine for us. Okay, you guys can attack that and take it back. Oh, they assigned a hero to the city. Interesting. Okay, we'll deal with that. We were the first ones to get a hero to level 8, and so we have acquired the extra health regen as though we needed it. Ozek the Chosen continues to level up, so the question now is, which of his many boosting skills do we want to focus on first? Or do we want to go hard on Impassioned Preacher because we have considerable population and it's only going to get more considerable? I think probably I want to focus on Science. We're doing quite well on Science. We'll be doing really well on Science once we no longer have the stupid book equipped. Yeah, okay. So let's deal with our combats here. Obviously, this one is completely trivial. But for some reason the city did not fall. Okay, well, I guess because it considered like that army was the city really should have fallen though when we won that battle. Because we attacked the city and won. Well, there are some problems. Alright, so this is a little bit annoying that we're actually going to have to fight through a whole bunch of health, but I think this guy is like really screwed. Right? He cannot win this, I don't think. So with our charge skill, remember we want to attack from as far away as we can. We want to spend as many movement points as possible before attacking. So here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a good attack there, and then here we go. So we actually want him to back up a little bit more if possible. We can't really get any further away, can we? Alright, this'll do. Do you move as far as you can? It is usually the case that charge units will endeavor to move as much as possible before attacking, even if you give them a straightforward attack this man order. Although these guys are not doing a good job of being an example of what I'm talking about, because right, it's way better to do this than to just stand still and attack. Okay. There's that city for me. We took 124 damage on that last counterattack. It's weird that that was so much more damage than any of the counterattacks before that. Alright, well, that's under control, so let's just head back down here. So yeah, if you rely on a single elite army, you are vulnerable to stuff like this, people spreading out a bunch of much weaker armies and moving all over the place. Parandy is going to get attacked in this coming turn, and there's nothing I can do to get in range to stop that. But what we can do is continue devouring green and just leave them with no troop production, and then we can take back the other cities at our leisure. You guys can make a run. Actually, we are going to be able to get in range to play defense over here. That's pretty good. Okay, we need a whole bunch more technologies. So, I want Plow Factory. We have access to the market. We can just buy the palladium we need. I don't want to, but we can. And then we can get, like, resource extraction, and this is a lot better if you have some water in your empire. Obviously, we don't really. I don't think there are even a lot of rivers around us, but or around our overgrown cities. But it also does, the large-scale aquatic center does buff your science from citizens working science. That's valuable to us. I don't know if it's valuable enough for us to take this tech, though. There are a lot of things we can go back and get as well. We definitely have some cool options back here, like the other luxury resource tech that we just ran past. Our other military unit, that seems good. That'll be 4 technologies there. I guess let's finish those and then we'll worry about other stuff. Alright, we definitely want to mash the heck out of the execute orders button here to make sure that our army headed toward Parandy actually gets in range. And then they're in range to play defense against an attack on either Anshan or Parandy, so that lone stalwart's influence should be very limited up there. Okay. I assume that this diplomatic request will be green asking for peace. We will not give it to them, obviously. Okay, there we go. There we go. The map turns orange. So they attacked Anshan. I think they may not have been able to see our unit. Remember that vision during the winter is pretty bad. Yep, they would like a truce. I refuse. It's just not really how we get down. Fungal blooms everywhere. Okay, yeah, so now they're going to have to fight through these 3 units with 100%, or with 100 points of bonus fortification. Obviously, we don't need to fight that manually. These guys have it under control. These guys are similarly doomed. Just having a single army who can play a little bit of backfield defense disables that strategy. We're definitely going for the big retrofit here. And then with a little bit more dust, we can actually get a movement trinket on our hero and have decent army movement. Threading through the fallen masonry at the entrance to the ruins, you come across a surprising sight. Dozens of eyeless ones have turned the site into a makeshift church, their distinctive twisting circular iconography adorning many surfaces, while many of the monks lay prostrate in worship. They agree to leave the site if you provide a temple for them elsewhere, so just build a city improvement that increases our influence, and they'll give us a bunch of blood crystal, which is not terribly useful to us. I don't think we have any more green dudes over here to worry about, so let's just head in the direction of finishing them off. Over here, we can definitely take a moment to build ourselves an Alchemy Lab. Cryometric monitors will give us a better guess on when the seasons change, as well as 15 science from each anomaly that we're exploiting, which is like 3 or 4, right? That's a pretty good building. Yeah, let's build those. This Epatane is so far behind that it's probably not going to be able to contribute to our military campaigns like very meaningfully, so I'm going to have it just scoop up pearls instead. We should not leave these laying around. One thing green can do that would be pretty annoying is to run up here and steal all of our pearls while we're paying attention to other stuff. Alright, what would it take to get our hero his movement trinket? 127 dust. I would love it if we could do that this turn. So we're getting okay mining of this. It doesn't really sell for that much, but if we just sell 10 of them, that solves the problem. Alright. An army's movement speed is the speed of the slowest unit in the army. So now we are up to 4.5 move, which will be 6 movement during the summer. It is really, really nice not to be on base movement. I guess you guys aren't really in a hurry. And I may leave these guys right here. If we run down here and attack, they'll just retreat. But if I stand right here, there's some chance that they attack the city, and they cannot retreat from their own foolish attack. Okay, also we did this thing. We've acquired the Wild Urkan's Guidebook. Assembled from painstaking investigations inspired by speculative theories from the ancient Testament of the Urkan's Tome, the guidebook gives valuable insight into the great beasts, with tangential lessons in leadership. With a greater understanding of the beasts, it is time to tame another Urkan, or retain all three, if already tamed. Urkans can be tamed by conquest or bribery. We're going to have to figure out how the bribery actually works, though. So, number one, let us unequip the horrible book, and then we can equip the good book in its place. That seems reasonable. Extra science and influence. These guys definitely have a strong scientific bent. You could probably get some good progress toward a science victory with them. Hold on. Let's do this battle first. Pretty straightforward. We don't need to do this manually. And then they have once again run units out to attack us in the open. I think the AI is having some trouble processing the odds. This feels to me like a big error on their part, because they're going to do the same thing, right? They're going to fail to include any reinforcements. This is my guess. Our hero's already back at full health because his health regen is completely insane. Yep, they didn't bother to include any reinforcements. Well, all of our units have insane health regen at this point. Here's a question. Is that other lone unit also going to attack me? Yes, they are. Okay, well, I think we can probably just auto-resolve that, knowing how that's going to go. So, is this their last region? No, it is not. They have Shulna and this region as well. And, wow, they have a ton of stuff over here. They're very prolific. Unfortunately, I think our approval is just going to get totally murdered by having all of these cities. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that we need to siege this. They don't have anything extra running around. If we attack Doyak, we will get Howard's garrison. So actually, we do need to siege it down. I do not want to fight that many units with that much bonus health. Alright, the capital's doing the things the capital needs to do. These units are on their way to provide backup, but it is going to be a minute. We have an Empire plan available here. So the plus 25 approval seems not to be worthwhile because our home city is extremely fervent, right? Like, we're way past 100%. Yeah, we're very positive. So that being the case, we skip this. We probably keep going along this tree, although we have so few buildings to build at this point, maybe we don't need to take the building cost reduction. Keep our units strong, keep our ability to suddenly gain dust strong. I guess we could grab the +2 vision on our units again as well. Yeah, that seems fine. Alright, so we have a lot of people heading over to regroup. There's more pearls to grab, but let's focus on pushing through green. We actually have a bit of a fight ahead of us. We also need to get this Urkan thing going. So it says you can take them over violently or through bribery. But these buttons are not, they're grayed out and it's not 100% clear why. Do I have to, like, be in the same region as the Urkan? Do I get a mouse over on this or anything? No. Yeah, maybe you can only do it if you're in the same region the Urkan is in. That one's owned by another player. Well, they're not both owned by other players, right? No. In theory, we should be able to buy here. Like, if I picked up dust from the market, we afford, or dye, rather. Ooh, dye is expensive. Never mind. Yeah, I think we would not be able to do this. Because we weren't able to spend on these even when he wasn't under anybody's control. It might be that we have to do it from... We might have to have somebody in the region he's in order to enable that option. I don't know. Let's make sure we have movement orders entered for everybody. We're all heading toward the front. I really would like to gather our units up as quickly as possible here. Okay, also the end of winter is pretty good for us. You know what, these guys can head down here a step, just one space out of the optimal path to grab that ruin, because we always need more stuff from ruins. Boy, no Palladian, huh? It's always Adamantian. Alright, well, it seems like they're going to keep making this same bizarre move over and over again, and we're just going to keep letting it happen. Oh no, they actually did include everything as reinforcements. That would have been a good battle to fight manually, but it worked out. And that means that we have the action point necessary to do this. And then can we get over to this city? We can. Okay. So cities regenerate their militia every turn unless they are under siege. So thanks to all of our bonus movement here, we can get over here and block this from respawning anything, meaning we get to take it for free at the beginning of the next turn. And things are looking extremely grim for green here. So we can't, we can see here from the patterns on the ground, this is an exploitation tile, which means it is adjacent to a district. So we know that the city in this region is over here somewhere. Okay, you guys need to continue forward. We do need to do a little bit of retrofitting still. We still have some units who are out of date, and the slower movement on those units is going to be annoying for us. So let's see. Let's have a look at the winter effects here. So +1 extent of the ice shelf on Empire means that water tiles that are adjacent to land will freeze during the winter and become traversable as though they were land. No army reinforcement is an interesting and very powerful winter effect that I think would be beneficial for us more than for anybody else, because I think we have a higher quality of troop than anybody else has. And -5% dust per declared war on Empire, plus 50% diplomatic point gain on Empire. This one has effectively no bearing on us, like it would be a very, very small penalty. This one also has no penalty for us. This could actually be a problem. There are certainly situations where I rely on having more units than the enemy. So why don't we put some prayers in on this? We have enough pearls to make that happen. I'm going to pray really hard. Get this up to 12. I would really like it if that didn't get surmounted. I think that one's good for us because it has no downside, and also there's... Oh, right, we still have our action point because we attacked an empty Doyak. So we can attack and empty this city as well. There's some version of that where the ice shelf actually helps us attack enemies as well. That one is basically no downside, a lot of potential upside. So we're going to wipe out green very, very soon. And we just need to keep an eye out for the Urkans and hope that one of them comes over to us. Because it kind of seems like maybe we can't interact with them if they don't. By conquest or bribery, but I don't have access to the bribery buttons. Yeah, I think we've got it. I think we understand it. It's just a matter of waiting for it to happen. Alright, so once we've wiped out green, we will be completely safe on our little landmass here. But we know that purple has proper ships and stuff. They are out on the ocean. They are conquering the fortresses. They are exploring. It is possible that they could come over here and be annoying. Let's try to merge people up as much as possible. So you guys can get this far forward. You guys can make it to here. Alright, so we'll merge everybody on... We'll merge these units together. That's one full army. And then we have even a little bit more backup coming in from behind that. Got another technology finished. What did we finish? Plow factory? Okay. So we do have some income now. But I would love to start building the plow factory. Well, I guess we're going to wait 2 turns on it anyway. Because we're letting cryometric monitoring finish. So we don't have to buy any palladium. We're going to have exactly enough to put the plow factory in the queue. Which means that all we really have to focus on is continuing our campaign of violence across the world. In my defense, they totally provoked me, you know, by going to war with my enemies and arguably helping me win the war I was in. Can you imagine the audacity of it? Let's move to right here, search this ruin before we make a move on Shulna. Hey, 30 gold. Gold's a pretty good resource. And Purple is closing their borders. They could hear me. They heard me talking about them. Also, I guess I'm adjacent to a ruin here. We may as well search that at the same time. Oh, check this out. When you build, when you siege somebody, it builds a little wall around them and puts up banners. Even our banners are made of fungus. They put a lot of visual detail and attention into this faction. Let's go search this ruin as well. It looks to me like we could just wait 1 turn here and then get to fight maybe both of their remaining garrisons with our much larger force. We are going to wait for the reinforcements to arrive. Oh! Another lust for loot. So, first ruin is right there. Okay, that'll give us something to do once we wrap up this this war. Let's continue to travel behind. The first reward is 20 more Dust Orchid, which I like a lot. Alright, so Fakir, let's go buy 15 dye and make absolutely certain I do not have the ability to press this button. We definitely have the money to do this now. No, I have the resources, but we have to get closer to him. Or something else has to happen? There's no tech that has anything to do with these guys, right? I mean, there are techs that have things to do with these guys, but there's no tech for allowing me to contribute to them. It wouldn't be a, these techs with the yellow are faction specific, it wouldn't be one of those. We know that all the players can do it. Yeah, it's not tech based, it's just we can't do it yet. It must be a thing where you have to be able to be in their region, right? Okay, yeah, so next turn we'll be in range. And we can just have at them. I think we're going to remove green from the world map here once and for all. Not that this was a major priority. But they could have become large and powerful if we had let them. It's a good idea to strike at a moment of relative weakness. This will be them asking for another truce. Oh, they're at least willing to give us something this time. Here's a whole bunch of artillery ships that they built for some reason. Apparently thinking that they were going to be safe. What do we need to devote our forces to, or our resources to land for? We've got land handled. Let's just go out on the ocean. We may as well fight this. No, you know what? We don't need to fight this manually. Massively overwhelming odds. Let's see if they are foolish enough to include the other city's garrison to try to keep them safe. They were not. Okay. That's smart. That's smart on their part. Keep the other city separate so I have to siege it separately. Not going to be enough to keep them alive, obviously, but smart. Okay, it is a little bit of a shame that we lost some units there, but hey, at least we have fewer armies now. We're paying less in upkeep costs. Alright, and we have the ability to build another burrow. So you'll notice, this burrow takes us adjacent to the edge of the territory, which means that it is actually giving us less total value. Because there's 1 tile of exploitation we're not gaining there. So I think I want to build in this direction instead right now. And man, our city is awesome. Our city is great and extremely powerful. We're also producing 421 dust per turn, which seems a little unnecessary. We may as well just, like, fungal bloom a bunch of stuff. We should get these Titan bones coming in. What is this? Blood crystal? I could use some blood crystal, I guess, but it's not a high priority. Oh, another Titan bone deposit. We want that. It is a little bit of a shame that the UI buttons for building stuff are not available at this Zoob level. Ooh, Moonleaf. Moonleaf is just a whole bunch of plus science. Pretty strong feelings about Moonleaf. What is this? This is plus dust from trade routes. Not something we're terribly interested in. Was there another Moonleaf somewhere, or was I imagining that? I thought I remembered that we saw Moonleaf elsewhere. No, maybe not. Well, one deposit is not going to be able to keep us rolling that Moonleaf booster forever. Oh, here we go. And then there's spices over here. I would like these, but apparently we can't get them. Why am I not... Oh, we don't have open pit mine yet. Right, we can't build extractors on tier 1 luxuries. Okay, well, we're working on that. That'll be solved soon. So let's go ahead and knock our second neighbor out of our out of the game. We make interesting use of territory outside of our home region. The cultists, who are the other one city faction in the game, also make use of the territory outside their region in interesting ways. They have a thing about converting minor faction villages. Oh, I forgot to move the rest of our reinforcements into position here. And it's important to keep the regions around you empty of enemy players just so that your converted cities can go unmolested. Did they settle this just this moment? I think they speed settled another region so that we wouldn't wipe them out quite as quickly. Yep, one population. That feels spiteful to me. Alright, well, you guys may as well go and, like, gather pearls and search ruins and stuff. We certainly don't need these guys in the war. Okay. So we're almost done. And you will feel a surge of ancient magic as a great colossus, one of the guardians, is brought to life. The spirit of Auriga may be fading, but great strength remains. Though perhaps sufficiently advanced science might thwart this ancient power. So somebody has built one of the great big guardian units. These things are massively expensive, and in my opinion, most of them are not worth the cost or time. But it is worth keeping an eye on them. Do we have any idea who built that? I guess we wouldn't, probably, right? We have a little bit of vision in Purple's area, but yeah, no, we do not have any idea who built it. Well, that's a shame. Let's see, Fakir is over here. We could potentially get in on him. We do have a tunnel that leads over in that direction. We could at least run a unit over into his region to see if it is indeed the case that the problem I'm having is just due to not being able to, not being in his region. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to construct a... It takes forever to build these. The thing is, it's also going to take us forever to walk back to the one teleporter that we have, right? So I'm going to construct a teleporter, like, over here in our territory. Across the continent, so that's just, like, broadly useful, and we will we'll go and visit. Actually, I'm going to install one over here as well, so we can jump onto that landmass. This thing seems like a thing that we probably should have been doing more aggressively throughout the game that I have not been remembering to do. Because teleportation is really powerful. Wow, eclipse time again already, huh? Well, that's actually really good for us. Because it means that we can buy out the teleporters. Alright. We have finally removed green from the game. Also, we're getting pillaged. A minor faction is pillaging some of our stuff. Well, we just attacked, so we don't have an action point. But we can sit here and make it clear to them that we're going to shake our heads disapprovingly at them from very close range. Alright, and these guys can just chill out over here because this is a temple ruin. We'll be able to search it twice next turn. So yeah, we're going to buy ourselves a bunch of... Oh wow, we need to get to 71 spices to pop a booster now, huh? Well, that might be doable. We have a lot of money. So what are we at? We're at 38. Alright. Bad news. We're down to content. No longer getting all of our big bonuses. But hey, at least we're getting all this extra food. Oh yeah, you guys are staying put. So, I think what we're going to do here is spend the next couple of minutes trying to get in contact with this Urkan, see if we can figure out the system, and then we're probably going to stop here. I know I said that I wanted to get a better sense of or we're probably going to stop at this game at the end of this episode. I know I said I wanted to get a better sense of our faction quest, and we will continue to do that in the next game, but I think at this point, with the base game AI being in sort of the state that it's in, this game is just a matter of time until we win. We're going to start a new game in tomorrow's episode with the Endless Legend community patch installed, and I'll tell you all about that and all the wonderful things that it does, and then we will play a much more difficult game where I'm likely to lose, and hopefully we can learn some interesting things that way. For now, though, like I said, let's try to we're going to get over into the region with that Urkan and see if that allows us to give him gifts, and if not, I'm going to run over to him and I'm going to punch him in the face extremely hard. As hard as anyone has ever punched a giant fungus monster in the face. Wait, no, they're not fungus. I'm the fungus monsters. They're rock monsters? Something. Alright, so it looks like we are not, in fact, actually being pillaged. These guys thought better of it. Okay. I was going to say I don't want to attack them because I don't want to use my action point because I want to be able to teleport with it. So I'm glad that they attacked me. Walk over here and I guess search the ruin properly before we teleport with it. Build the Advanced Alchemy Lab in one of your cities and you'll get a new tech. Not something we're super worried about. So we can buy this out now. Wow, that is expensive. And then, is that Urkan still over there? Yes. One of these numbers... 3 turns until he resettles. We have time, I think. Ooh, I'm going to grab... I want that movement conflux. A lot of extra movement. Is there maybe one near our destination ruin? Not that we can currently see. I think I'm going to not go after it, just because I want to get actually over there. So, let us teleport. Alright, so there are Urkan lice out here running around. There's also a bunch of quest armies. Whenever you see a yellow flag, that means that is a neutral army that was spawned by something other than a neutral village. You guys can search this. Get some adamantium. But actually, I'm a little worried. I might not, in fact, have enough movement to get over to him. Also, there's a great big sea monster out in the ocean. A roar, a thunder of waves, and the stink of rotting fish. Then the ship just disappeared. A monster has been reported out in the deep blue. Wild-eyed mariners claim it is the size of great ships, even the size of islands. It has been attacked and even wounded, but never killed. A mass of tentacles attached to a great maw. The only good news to have come from these tall tales is that there apparently is only one, but that it is a wanderer and appears anywhere, rising suddenly from the depths to strike and feed. The roving clans call it Muamang. The ardent mages refer to it as Dirkseri, maybe? And it is Gillisbeer to the Morgaur. Whatever its name, stories abound of it, and ships have broken on it. Whatever its name, stories abound of it, and ships have broken on it. Little is known except for a few scarce facts. It's a little oddly constructed, that sentence. First, should it die, it will finally disgorge the tons of wealth it has been ingesting for decades. Second, should any part of it survive, it will regenerate itself. Third, you probably need a bigger boat. So killing the sea monster would make us rich, but we have no boats, and also it's actually a pretty difficult fight. That is not a concern for this game. We'll talk about the sea monster in future episodes when we are playing games where we actually do some naval stuff. Yeah, I think 3 turns, huh? We can make it. Ooh, maybe not. Actually, maybe not. We go to here. Yeah, okay, we can make it. Just a matter of routing around here a little bit. So red has attacked it and failed to defeat it, but they've gotten it weakened. They took out its spare Urkan lice. You can keep generating additional science for us. Our hero here can pick up... We could grab extra points of defense for all of our units. That might be the way we go. You know, actually, at this point, Woodland Stride would be really useful. The reason we're having a hard time getting into this region is because of all the forests. We would actually be in there already if we had this. We could also gain winter immunity for the army. That's probably the right thing to do. After this eclipse ends, I suspect winter is not too far behind. That is usually the way of things. Right, I'm going to have these guys run over near the teleport ruin, because there is a chance that we will not get to actually interact with the Urkan in time. It might be that I have to actually run up to it. And if that is the case, I want to have an army that is ready to teleport to wherever its new position is by buying us a ruin in that area and then just jumping through. We'll see if that's actually something we can do. And our city continues to get even more powerful and even cooler. Alright, let's get over here and see if we can't introduce ourselves. So I guess the first thing I'm trying is I'm getting in the region and seeing if that allows me to talk to it. No, it will not. It will not hear our words. Then, in that case, it is possible that I have to actually interact with it up close, which is a shame because it is definitely going to move in a second here. The roving clans attacked us. I was thinking about attacking them, but they attacked us. So the roving clans are a mercantile faction that generally are not terribly aggressive. And somebody else has produced an awful lot of dusts and has gained themselves some palladium. Yeah, usually you don't end up fighting with these guys a lot. They are jealously guarding this Urkan, though. We probably don't have to manually resolve this battle. This looks like a pretty huge win for us. I guess we probably should, though. Let's just be on the safe side. We want to be, at least theoretically, ready to fight any other enemies that... the Urkan, really. We should at least theoretically be ready to fight the Urkan, in case it does stick around for one more turn. It might be that the 1 turn left on the timer means that it's going to teleport at the beginning of next turn, but it also might teleport at the end of next turn. We don't know how this works yet, so... Actually, I'm going to have these guys over here. Okay, they did not bring in their reinforcements, which is not a big surprise. Okay. We'll just lock their dudes down with our faster units, and then tear them apart with ranged fire, as has been our idiom. Rumblers are actually relatively dangerous units. As far as minor faction guys go, these are pretty tough ones, but that guy had less than a single attack worth of HP on him, so I wasn't worried. Okay, so tame Urkan. You just offer luxuries to the mighty Urkan. All right, well we'll see if it wants to hang around or if it teleports at the beginning of the turn. And if it teleports at the beginning of the turn, we will just we'll be ready with these guys. I can grab this conflux. Put us in a better position to chase it down after it teleports, maybe. Okay, let's see. Oh, I suppose we should be researching something. Give me that. Doesn't much matter. So does he burrow in right now? He sure does. Okay, but he didn't go far. In fact, he went to a position where we can just still interact with him right now. Works for me. Oh, great Fakir, we are here to do stuff for you. I hope you like things. I brought you so many things. So, he is demanding hydromiel. Right? 15 hydromiel. Well, we have some money. And there is 15 hydromiel on the market. Okay. I got you, man. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to satisfy that craving. Okay. We did it. Our time spent studying the ways of the Urkans was not wasted. We have tamed the great beasts and learned some of their weaknesses. Now I must better understand the balance that we seek, and to be ready for the endless winter. We've acquired the Talisman of Courage, which is a trinket that gives us the Urkan Slayer ability. I assume this is just plus some percentage damage versus Urkan, right? That's usually how it works. So now that we've taken control of him, now we can press the buttons on him that give him extra abilities. So while Urkan is rooted to a region, yeah, we don't actually want to do this because he is not near our cities, so we will not get any benefit here. Can I control his movement? Urkans can be tamed by combat or by feeding them. Yeah, I've done that. Okay. Once tamed, they grant the luxury and strategic resources of the region they control, can be relocated, or can switch to their army form. The Urkan training screen also gives access to new powers to unlock. So I actually have the ability to select him as a unit. I can set him free. I can choose a new region for him to go to, so we could tell him to go over to our island. This requires his action point. Or we could uproot him and make him walk Auriga as an army, which is exciting. That's a cool idea. Deep in my slumber, away from my corporeal perceptions, I hear them. A faint babble, not unlike the gentle susurration of waves on the shore. Listen more carefully, though, and the murmur becomes more like a chorus of lullabies. They are the voices of children of Auriga, long assimilated into the Mykaran collective, and I am simply the most recent of their number, the youngest sibling. I know not their names, and even though their bodily forms have no doubt enmeshed into the mycelial fabric to such a degree that identification would be impossible without instruments of science, I can feel their heritage. Among the refrain I detect a Draken, Wildwalker, Sister of Mercy, Necrophage, even a Morgar. No doubt there are others I cannot yet discern. I imagine they are in communion, conversing, pleading, persuading, a combined influence on the intentions of the Mykara who harbors them all. They carry the history of their people, the history of Auriga. The winter grows harsher every cycle. We must sharpen our weapons and weaken our enemies, so the Mykara and all its voices survive. We must strengthen the Urkans we control and defeat the armies of lice that threaten Mykara's survival. Only this way will the past be preserved. So, ensure there are at least 6 Urkan upgrades unlocked. Okay, we're not going to push on too much further here, like I said. There are only 4 unlocked now, and only one of them can we... only 3 unlocked now, and only one of them can we buy, so we'd cap out at 4 this turn. We'd have to put some time into this. But, before we stop here, let's uproot our Urkan, our little friend, the first nightmare of Auriga. And what are his combat stats like? Jeez. Okay, so his combat stats are... some of these are in the neighborhood of what a good Guardian will give you, but he cost us a heck of a lot less than a Guardian would have, and he's got a ton of health. So he's indestructible. He's got... Unfortunately, we can't... is there a way for me to actually look at his tooltips? There's not really. I can't mouse over his stuff, because if I move the mouse off of him, this stuff fades away. Flame Walker means that he can walk over lava without taking damage, I believe. Charge is the same thing that our Gorgons have, where he gets bonus attack for moving before attacking. I don't know exactly what Winter Enervation or Brotherhood of Urkans does. We could probably make an educated guess as to Indestructible. And he has Sweep Strike Back, which means that if he gets attacked and he counterattacks, his counterattack hits an arc of spaces in front of him. Seems like a very, very powerful combat unit. Unfortunately, we cannot edit his equipment, so I can't, like, give him our free counter trinket or anything. That would be pretty good, what with him having Sweep Strike Back and everything. But okay, I think this has been some good information. We know how to interact with the Urkans now, we have some sense of how powerful they are, how we might use them against a superior foe. And I think that is going to be it for us for today and for this game. So, thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time for the first episode of a new game with the Endless Legend community patch installed, and we'll see you then.